This is going to be a video on the speech commands in Blue Eye Macro. So we're going to go to create and give it a name. We're going to go ahead and call this speech and put it in the tutorial section. Start with the begin. So we're looking for speech. You can see it at the bottom there. So you can do two things with BEM. One is to wait for voice commands, or you can have it talk to you. Some people use this, I've seen on the forums, for like alarms. If the CAPTCHA comes up, it'll give an alarm. But we're going to have it do something when we give it a command. So now we just write our 5 commands in here that we want, or any number of commands. You can just put 1 or 3, doesn't matter. I'm going to have it launch Notepad, 1 if I want to minimize it, 1 if I want to restore it. Then I'm going to have 2 messages, message 1 and message 2. And then the name of the variable to save it to. This is the variable that whatever command you give it, this is how we're going to call it and have it do a function. So we're going to write function.execute, and then one way to set this up, especially if you're a beginner, is with if statements. So you would write if Notepad was said, do this. If minimize was said, do this, and keep going through all of them. Instead of doing that, a shorter way to do it is I'm just going to put the execute name as a variable. So whatever you say is the function it's going to execute. It might be hard for some beginners to understand. I'll go into it more in detail in one of the videos about variables. So now we need to type in our functions. Oops. And the first one is Notepad. Begin. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So I want it to launch, so that's going to be a system function, system.launch. And oops, I need the path to that, which is, I'll just do Windows notepad.exe, and wait or not, doesn't matter. Alright, so one, I need to separate this out. I don't think that's going to work. Nope. That needs to be a small f. There we go. Alright, since I need 4 more, I'm just going to copy and paste this. There we go. So the next function will be minimize. The next one will be restore. Then our message 1. And these need to be the same as the voice commands that you put up top. Okay, so minimize, that's going to be a window instruction. So we want window dot minimize, and it tells you in the tooltips here that the actual title is going to be untitled hyphen notepad, but I'm just going to write notepad. Then does it need to be exact? I'm going to put no. Then restore is basically the same thing, another window function dot restore, and same thing, just notepad and then no. And then message 1 is going to be a keyboard function because I wanted to type some text out. So in this one I'll just put this is message 1. Then I want to go ahead and put enter on my keyboard. My return is enter. And then for the second message, I'll put some lyrics from a song. There we go. Alright, one other thing. When it restores it, it may not actually bring the notepad window to the front. So I'm going to go ahead and go back and put bring to front, notepad, and then no again. Just to make sure it brings notepad to the front in case I'm doing messages in between minimizing and restoring. So now we can click and see if we did it correctly. And notepad, 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 minimize. Alright, I know what the error was. I didn't put it on infinite, so it just ran once. Let's try that again. Notepad, message 1, minimize, restore, message 2, minimize. There we go. Now we can see that it's working good. We actually had 2 words for these, and it was able to distinguish between the 2, as you saw here, message 1 and then message 2. So how could you use this? Some things are, if you're away from your keyboard and say you're watching a movie, you could have it have commands like stop, pause, play. You could have it for your volume control. If you're gaming and you're limited on some of the numbers for keys, and in some games it's like you have to press Control Shift 1 instead of pressing all those. You could have a voice command for like buff, heal, something like that, and it'll press the buttons for you. And so just some things that you could do if you use Word a lot and maybe type certain things like the date, a signature block at the end. You could have it where you just say signature, it types out your whole signature block, then you hit save, have another command to name the file, close it out, start a new one, and do it all by voice commands. Pretty much anything that you click on or type out, anything you could do, you could set up as voice commands instead of having keyboard shortcuts for them. Alright, thanks for watching.